Hi everyone, and welcome back to Tarot for You 444. It's certainly lovely to have you with me again today. I wanted to speak to you very briefly about a few different topics, for the Ascension series videos that I've been making, because I think they're relevant topics, and I think that they are very important with regard and or relation to the twin flame journey. So let me start by talking about the idea of religion or spirituality as it pertains to the twin flame journey. For some people they are religious, for some people they are spiritual, for some people, they're not quite sure. They're in a state of not knowing exactly, how they feel about it. And, this is all part of the journey. This is part of the journey back to oneself, to understand that, and there's a cat meowing in the background there as a synchronicity. So here we go. Okay, so no matter what you believe, welcome to my channel. This is a place where we can discuss different topics, and I want you to feel, safe and loved in this community here. So I want to just bring up the idea of a distorted masculine and feminine energy as opposed to a divine masculine and divine feminine energy. If I define this to you, I'd like to say that the distorted energy, whether that's the feminine or masculine energy, remember we have both of these energies within us. Okay, so when we're talking about the distorted energy, this is the lower vibrational energy when we come out of unconditional love and into those lower emotions, which brings our vibration or frequency down. And so this is when we would experience anger or jealousy or hatred or racism or, being spiteful against religion or, those kinds of things. Okay, when we come into the opposite energy, which is the higher vibration resonating at a higher frequency, this is when you bring in your twin flame. This is when you have unconditional love of self and of others around you, despite whether you agree or disagree with those points. Okay, so you can still love all races, you can still love all religions, you can still love have an understanding for different aspects of what's in the world today. And this is called unconditional love. And until you come into a space of unconditional love of firstly self, you won't necessarily be able to attract your twin flame. And this is important. So I want to describe the distorted energy as it pertains to religion. Okay, because if you're on the twin flame journey, you've got to believe in some sort of divinity, I would think. So whether that's religious, whether that's spiritual, whether that's, a belief in that there's a God, source or universe or whatever it may be, I'm not trying to push any agenda here or view here. However, I do want to bring up the topic that, sin, as in, how religion would see sin, is defined as the estrangement from God. Okay, so estrangement means, taking yourself away from, putting yourself in a place that's far from. Okay, so whether you believe that there's God or Buddha or Allah or, the Big Bang Theory, or that, we come from monkeys, or whatever you believe in is not the topic here. What I'm trying to bring in is this understanding that, sin, as we know it in religious sense, is defined as the estrangement from God. And this is mentioned in the Bible and in the Holy Quran as well. So I find this very interesting, that sin is defined as the estrangement from God. Okay, so when we come into understanding, the twin flame unity or the twin flame journey, we understand that both twins are, sparks of God or of universal source energy, however you'd like to say it. Okay, so for the purposes of this video, I'm using God, as a term to branch whatever you believe in. Okay. So obviously, if you're on the twin flame journey, you believe in some sort of divinity. All right, and that's up to you where your journey leads you and how you want to perceive that for yourself. There's no judgment here. Okay, so if sin is defined as the estrangement from God, then we can go on to say that, being in the distorted energy, the distorted masculine or feminine energy, would mean that, the reason you are feeling jealous or angry or upset or, pissed off or, in the lower vibrations is either because there is, some injustice that you feel that has occurred to you in the world, from a person, place or situation, or because you're lacking a communion with source energy, whether that's God, Buddha, Allah. Bulla's a new one. That sounds like an ice cream brand. Oh dear. Okay, anyway, that was a Harry joke coming in there. Okay, so if there's an estrangement from this source energy, from whoever you believe created you, then this will bring the distorted energy in. Okay, so my suggestion here, and it's only a suggestion, go with as you are guided, is that if you come into the knowing that you are divine, that you have, the God source or the spark of divinity within you, then wouldn't coming to know this more bring you into the divine energy, into unconditional love? Because, religion and spirituality would say that, God or whoever you believe in is loving, is all-encompassing, is kind, is humble, is, brilliant. And so to come into this divine energy, into this unconditional love, wouldn't you need to know the source that you're coming from? Because when the two twin flames come together, there is the two energies that come together and create the third energy, which is source energy. So this is something I want you to research for yourself. You can look up, you can, take a look at some of the, writings in the Bible, whether you believe in them or not, just for study purposes, or in the Quran, in the Holy Quran, you can take a look in there. And there are also the Gnostic Gospels, and, there is a lot in Catholicism or in the Catholic religion, that speaks about, coming into union with God. And I want you to take a look, if you feel guided, just to research it, just so you can get a feel for what it might feel like to come into a oneness with God or a oneness with the creation or source energy. Because, as a divine union, there needs to be something that you both look to. It's not just a journey back to each other, it's a journey back to each other in divinity. And so what does divinity mean for you? This can be different for each and every person listening today. And so I want you to, use religion or use spirituality or use, some of these writings that have been here for many, many years to discover perhaps what divinity means to you. For some people that might mean shamanism. For some people that might mean, that they feel that they're a light worker or a starseed or I don't know, whatever it means to you. But, you know, if you're coming together in a twin flame holy union, what part of it is holy? You know, what is the holy part? What is the sacred part? This is important to know this because it's part of you. It's part of who you are. You know, do you believe in past lives? Do you believe that, you know, there's angels? Do you believe in spirits? Do you believe in, you know, what do you believe in? What magic or what understanding do you have? You know, who do you go to when there's no one else around? Who do you pray to? And if you don't pray, who do you, connect with apart from your twin flame? You know, that's in the divinity sense. So that's a question I would ask you today, to have a look at this, because the twin flame union is sacred, is holy, and it's definitely not a physical or third dimensional consciousness union. It's far greater than that. So I want you to ask yourself that question. And if you hate all religions, you know, I understand, you know, that's a very controversial topic, you know, like politics is. I understand that. But I also would ask you to let go for a moment and just see what there is on offer there, so that you can open your heart to understanding who your creator is. Because some of these texts were written, you know, thousands and thousands of years ago, and, you know, are holy to many. You know, we're not just talking hundreds of people, we're talking, you know, to millions and millions and millions of people. And why are they so sacred to those many people? Because obviously there's something in there that we can learn from. Even if you don't want to convert to a religion of any kind, that's fine. Or, you know, but it would be really great if you could just grasp it and say, well, hang on a minute, where do I come from? Who do I feel like I come from? And, you know, is this a creator God, or is this Buddha, or is this Allah, or is this, you know, who is this for me? And how does this impact my twin flame journey? And does my twin believe in the same? And if not, why not? And how do we bring it all together? You know, if he's a certain religion, or she's a certain religion, or he's not at all, or, you know, whatever it is, how do you bring this together? And of course my answer here is unconditional love, and it really doesn't matter anyway. But how do we come into unconditional love? We need to know where we come from. We need to understand our source, our spark, you know, who we are, you know, on a soul level. Where do we come from? You know, why are we here? What's our mission? You know, look at the bigger picture. Don't look at the third dimensional consciousness, which says, you know, you've got to go to work every day and, you know, work 9 to 5 and, you know, have a house and have a car and have all these things. You know, come into your spirituality, come into the knowing of who you are today. And, you know, in your spare time, just spend half an hour, if you feel guided to look into who you are. Because who you are is the most important thing you'll ever do. And your soul, the journey back to your soul, is the most important thing you'll ever do in this lifetime. Okay, I'm sending you peace, love and light from Australia. And if you want to reach out to me, my email is in the description box. So have a great day, night, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. And Harry says bye. He's being very cheeky right now and he's eating tacos. But he says he'll save some for you if you want some later. Okay. All right. Bye everyone. Have a beautiful day. Bye.